Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. You are always most welcome. So today another one of these interesting Matchbox armour kits. Interesting for me because I haven't seen it before. Makes you realise just how many different kits. They made a lot of kits, didn't they? There were so many of them, and we're still enjoying this sort of 50th anniversary year 2022 because they set up in 72. This is a later one though. We've got the M-19 tank transporter, 45 tons transporter. It's in French, so it's really basically a transporter stroke trailer for tanks, very heavy duty obviously, and this is one of the later ones. So this is 78, I believe. Nice artwork on the front. I'm not sure if it's a Roy Oxley or not. I think it. No, it's Doug Post. It's actually got Doug Post's name on it if you just look very carefully at the bottom right. So Doug Post's a little bit more. They tend to be a bit less colourful. Arguably a bit more gritty and realistic, you could say. But yeah, there's his Doug Post's signature there. But yeah, he did a lot of nice artwork as well, in all fairness to the guy. So yeah, very nice, and it's obviously a late war scene. On the back we've got this rather strange design where they do, on the left it's nice, but on the right it's very bland. They've taken away the window on these later 78 onwards boxings. So we get a picture of it, what it looks like. Basically if you paint it, it doesn't show anymore. They dropped the idea of showing it unpainted. And I'm not sure they did that anyway on the armour, in fairness. I think that was more on the aircraft. Looks very nice. It's got a diorama again, so that's always very welcome. It's also got some figures in it, which some others of this era did not have, so that's another plus. And it's got two options: the 452 Tank Transporter Company Northwest Europe of the US Army, and then 373rd Tank Transport Company in the Middle East. Looks like that's also the US Army, I think. But these were also used by the Brits, and I think the French had them as well, all supplied by the Americans. On the side, that slightly cartoonish style I don't care for, but it's good angle though, because it shows you it's got the ramps down for the tank to actually drive onto it, which is pretty cool. It's just a low loader, isn't it, basically? And then on the other side, I was wrong. So on the other side, they have actually shown on this one what it will look like if it's unpainted. And it doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure why they didn't go for green rather than sandy colour. Okay, it does work for the African one, I suppose. Yeah, that's what they're thinking of, isn't it? Anyway, without further ado, I think we should have a look at this. Like I say, it's a kit I've never seen before. And I always welcome something that we've perhaps not all had. And I say it came out a bit later, and perhaps I moved on a bit from some of the armour kits in 78. I was more keen on some of the big red range and things like that. Now then, actually we've got a little bit of an issue here. This is, I should stress, this is not my kit, that's why I'm being a bit extra careful. What you saw there was the same problem I had with the kit of mine, the Douglas Boston, whereby these later ones, they started hot melting the tab, the flaps on the inside. They hot melted them, so they're quite hard to get out actually. And I didn't realise that it was already open at this end, so you can see there. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. This hot melt glue, there's a double circle of it, and it makes them a lot more tricky to get into. Can you see here? Get in nice and close. There's two circles of hot melt, same on the other side, on the other flap. So I nearly did the other, I kind of opened the wrong side, but don't worry John, didn't actually break it in the end, I felt the resistance. So, let's have a look what we have got here. Okay, so we've got 3 sprues, we've got sandy brown, we've got obviously the instructions, etc. We've got dog dirt brown, and this is a bit of a nasty one, that is. And then we've got sort of milk chocolate brown. So you've got 3 different types of brown: sand, dog dirt, and chocolate. And we have the instructions here. Let's take a look at these. So we get a nice write-up, which we don't always get, of course, on some of the later Matchbox stuff. But this is, say, 78, before they went into real financial difficulties. Lesney. It says, with the ever-increasing weight of the tank due to increased armour protection, the need for heavier transport and recovery vehicles was of the utmost priority by the mid-1940s in order to maintain a fighting efficiency of the tanks, whose tracks, engines and suspension suffered heavily when driving over longer distances. The task of developing a transporter recovery vehicle was undertaken by the US Ordnance Corps for the British government, thus leaving existing heavy vehicle production uninterrupted. By 1941, the outcome of the development was the M-19 Transporter Recovery 45 tonne. This vehicle consists of a 980 Diamond T Prime Mover M20 lorry coupled with the Rogers low loader trailer M9. These vehicles saw service in Egypt, Italy, and played a vital role in conveyance of army units to and forth the battle areas. They also served with both American and British armour units throughout northwestern Europe to the end of the war. The M19 remained in service with the British Army, only being withdrawn in the mid-1950s. Obviously got something even bigger and heavier, I suspect, because the tanks carried on getting heavier when they brought out the Centurion. There we go. So, very interesting, nicely done. And we have on the back, we have got our call-outs for your decals, which is quite nicely done. It looks very long, doesn't it? Lots and lots of wheels on this thing. And then we've got the other option here. So I think that's the desert one there, isn't it? Yes. It's got a camel on it, you can tell. And then this is the one that's got the American star on it for sort of Italy stroke European theatre. Down here we've got the colour call-outs for the small parts, and there aren't many of them, which is very odd. Unusual to have so few. And then let's have a look at the instructions. So, yes, okay. Now, I do think they always do these instructions rather nicely, in fairness. So you've got your two driver and co-driver here. You've got them building up the cabin. Then you've got sort of what looks like the... What is that? At the side? I'm not quite sure what I'm looking at there. It's a bit confusing. Oh, okay. It's telling you to remove a piece. That's what it's telling you to do. 72, 43. Okay. So that's the frontage, I think, of the cabin. Then you're going to build up your cabin here. You've got radiators, you've got the side bonnet and the windscreen, etc. roof. And again, it's telling you to remove a couple of pieces or make a hole. It's telling you to make a hole. This is interesting. It shows a craft knife being used and twisted to make a hole. Same there. Not drilling. Nowadays you drill a hole, which is really more logical. That tells you that it's aimed at younger modelers that don't have a drill, which is quite good. Anyway, so down we come to number 4. Now we get one of the crew here. We've got the doors coming on, the stand plates on the side, and your bumper goes on there as well. Then we've got number 5 where you're building up your chassis, and you got your leaf springs going in here, axles, wheels and tyres. And then you're building up your cabin behind, complete with mud guards and the rear drop down gate, so to speak. And then you've got some stowage areas, and I think it's a bit of a seating area as well there. Then you're going to build up these double bogies. It's a double bogie, double wheel system at the back. So obviously it's a very heavy weight bearing vehicle. So you've got double spring suspension, leaf springs, and then you've got your winch at the front here, winch there. Zooming in a bit too much here, haven't I? There we go. Then we've got bringing this all together. So your cabin comes on, and your rear stowage area with the spare wheel coming in here, and then putting it on your sort of bogie system that you've built up, this double bogie. Doesn't make that awfully clear, does it? Suddenly it goes from this, and suddenly it becomes that, and that's not made the clearest, I don't think, actually. That's very odd. That is not overly clear, especially in terms of the wheels. I think the younger model might get a little bit confused by that, but anyway, I'm sure the rest of us can probably manage it. So 11 here, this is when we start to build the actual transporter low loader, and you're building up your floor area and then the side plates down the side, and then you're going to build in your ramps, and your back plate has the lights on it. One or two other parts here that are going on handles and things, and area where the winch is going to go. Then here in 13 you've got this is basically the connecting system, you know, where the lorry meets the actual there's a word for this and my mind's gone blank, so I can't remember, but it's like the towing area, shall we say, where they hook up and they, you know, become a union together, and then you've also got building up many wheels for the actual axle and your suspension that's going to go on. Obviously there's a lot of wheels on this. Look at the way, look at it's like a, it's almost like one of these things they put the space shuttle on, isn't it, with many bogies. So it's got to take a lot of weight, but it looks good, it looks very good. And then you've got these chocks here so that your tank doesn't roll off. We've got a street sign going on the diorama. There's a street sign, which is a nice touch, and another figure here is about to climb into the cab. So the figures and the street sign really add something, I think. That's really nice. Yeah, it's not always the clearest instructions in places, but nice, very well illustrated. Like that, very nice indeed. So let's take a look at the decals. We have here, as usual, the very small Matchbox, the others are, and we've got camels here. So this is the desert one, and then this is the Western Europe theatre. And that's for the one. There's one camel on the trailer, one camel on the actual tractor unit, and you turn it upside down. Yeah, it's quite good the way they've laid that out. They made it a little bit clearer than usual by putting one way and one the other. It separates them so you don't get muddled up. Very nice. Those are in very good condition as well, those decals. I think those are eminently usable, I'd say. Can't see a problem with that, can you? No, very good. So that's good. So let's have a look at the plastic then. Starting with, I think we'll start with the dog dirt. Dog dirt coloured plastic. Right, so we've got a couple of characters here, so let's start with them. Those are nice. Now, this is what I like about Matchbox, the way they animate the scene. So we've got this guy is he the driver? No, he's actually, I think, the co-pilot, so to speak. He's the guy checks on the trailer and makes sure everything's fine. I think this is the guy that's getting in as the driver. But you know, they've done these rather nice, actually. They've got a bit of animation to them. A little bit of detail, a bit of effort's been put in. Those are really rather good figures, I think. And they're lacking on one or two of these of this era. Matchbox started dropping the figures off like they were trying to save money. Then here we've got the chassis for the tractor, and then you've got your tow hook bar, so to speak, and up here you've got your axles, a couple of seats, stowage boxes which look very nice, I've got to say. Very nice stowage boxes there. Yeah. And then what have we got? So many parts actually here. Lots of little wheels. Got steering wheel here, and then we've got these are various wheels, I think, for operating the raising and lowering of the trailer. And you've got your leaf springs there. More suspension components here, the bogies. Here you've got your wedges that stop the tank from rolling, which is on the transporter. There's a lot of parts actually, aren't there? There's quite a lot of parts to this. Yeah, I hope you find the instructions clear, because I'm not sure. Definitely want to take your time over this one. That's that one, and then we've got the sandy coloured spruce. So here we go. And on this one we've got basically the vehicle parts. So you've got the tractor parts here. You've got like mud guards here, and you've got like a high grip area where there's a metallic zone here for them to actually be able to step on. I'm sure we can get that very clear there. There we go. Is that better? I think that's better. That's nicely done. You've got the side plates here for the trailer, which again, some nice panelling and engraving on these. That's quite nicely done. See that? And we've got the top of the cab here, complete with the bonnet and the windscreen and the top of the roof of the actual cab. And over here we've got the doors, both sides. Then here we've got the area where the pivot joint is for the actual towing joint. Here we've got the actual floor of the low loader. That's where your tank is going to sit. And then we've got bits of roof and this is the side plates, the sort of walls of the tractor's storage area behind the cab. Here you've got the radiator, which is quite nice, isn't it? The sides here next to where the engine vents, got vents on the side for the engine cooling. Yeah, very nice sprue indeed actually. Again, no flash or anything, very nicely moulded indeed. And then, last but not least, we've got the chocolate brown, and this is the one that's got the diorama on it. Now bear in mind it's got there's a hole here, see the hole? And this is obviously where the street sign is going to go. Did we see the street sign? I didn't actually spot it. Where was that then? Doesn't seem to be on this sprue, so where is that? Let's just go back and find this, it's intriguing me. Street sign, where? Street sign? Wait a minute, just bear with me, I need to find it. It's part 27. Where would that be then? 27. Is it on the chocolate dog? Oh yes, it's there, it's hiding, look. It's here, the street sign. Didn't spot that, did I? It's here. There. Like on it's just made of wood. Makes it look like it's made of wood and it's just stuck into the diorama. Anyway, sorry, I digress. Back to the plastic on the chocolate coloured one. So yes, the street sign goes in there, and obviously you've got all these track marks. It's a bit basic, isn't it? And they started doing this, started getting more basic and rather small. But it's big enough. It's big enough for the actual diorama. A little bit more would have been better, I think. Perhaps just a little more at the side. Perhaps another figure like an MP or something stood at the side of the road would have been nice. But here we've got all the sort of suspension, leaf springs, and then all the truck wheels. Look at that. There's a lot of the hubs of the wheels. That's really, really nice. Some real good detail there actually. So on the other side you've got the actual tyre. On this side you've actually only got one. You've only got one tyre on the inner side. On the outer side you're going to put these tyres over it. And again they're nicely treaded. Looks very cool indeed, to be honest. So this is actually for the trailer. All this is for the trailer. And then over on this side we've got the wheels for the tractor. Now if you look at these are really bonny looking things. Look at the quality of the moulding there. It's a little bit Tamiya like, isn't it, if we're being fair? It's nice. Yeah. Very, very nice moulding. Great design, lovely looking treads. Yeah, I think they've done a really good job with that. There's your winch here. And then you've got various other leaf springs here. That's a really nicely figured kit actually. You know, the wheels that are on the trailer are about half the size of the ones on the tractor, aren't they? Look at the difference in size. Big difference there. Well, it's the sort of subject that probably because there was no tank with it. If it come with a tank as well, which perhaps they should have done, you know, made it a bigger, like a red boxing or something. I think that would have sold better with a tank. But as an actual model kit, I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's a really nice one, is that? I've never seen it before ever. I think that'll build up, look beautiful. Could maybe have done with a bit more diorama, perhaps a bit more animation, but they have got two figures, so that's really good. So I think I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10 because I think the moulding is so excellent, so nice, so flash free, so perfect. I don't know what it was about the armour kits. They seem to be particularly devoid of flash and very, very perfect, you know, very, very beautifully conceived. So there we are, 9.5 out of 10. So that's the M-19 tank transporter, 45 tonnes. Very kindly loaned to us by Mr. Jon Bevan. Thanks a lot, John. That's a really nice kit. 9.5 out of 10 from me. I hope you will give me a full 10 out of 10. Don't forget to smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. And if you are a regular subscriber, always double check you've got the notification bell dinged, so that when we have a premiere and there's a bit of live chat with it, you can join in the fun and have a bit of a natter, a bit of a chat with us and have some fun. Anyway, that's it for the time being. However, there'll be more coming along very soon, I'm sure. Please stay tuned, because I think you'll find it all. If you enjoyed this, you'll certainly find the rest entertaining. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. Look after yourselves, and bye for now.